Maggie, I did something earlier today that was a lot of fun.
What was that?
You
didn't invite me.
No, you were here.
Oh.
It was right here. I pulled out my Eagles jersey to sort of troll Emmitt Smith, the former Cowboy.
Yeah, that turned out great.
But I'm a nice guy, so I'm not going to do that with our upcoming guest here.
Please don't, because we want to try to make a good impression with one of the best stories in the NFL this season, and that's 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy, who's good enough to join us. Brock, I mean, people have probably told you this a million times. It was like a movie watching you. I mean, did it feel like your real life, or did you even think, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. But yeah, the whole ride, I'm just thankful how it all played out, and just stayed ready for my moment, and had a great team around me to go on a run and make it to the NFC Championship. But yeah, what a dream.
We talk about guys like you have to have this crazy confidence in yourself that even if you're the third guy on the depth chart, that you feel like if I need to, I can come in and help my team win a game. Like, was there a point when your confidence ever wavered and you weren't sure if you were that guy, or once you got out there, took a couple snaps, they're like, all right, I know this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes back to my faith first, just knowing who I am and what my purpose in life is. And so from that, I can go and have confidence in who I am and play the game and play the position of quarterback. And so back in camp, I've believed from day one when I got there, like, I can do this, I can make the team and make the throws and lead an offense and all that kind of stuff. And then when I got my opportunity, I was like, I'm ready for this.
Brock, how does it work? Because I know we always hear first team reps, second team reps, third team reps. You could get chemistry with these guys even though you weren't first team reps at the time. I mean, how important is it for a wide receiver and a quarterback to get to know each other?
I mean, it's huge. The way Brandon Ayuk runs a route compared to Deebo Samuel and George Kittle, like, everyone has their little intrinsic ways of running a route or making a cut. So for me, sitting back and watching, Jimmy taking little notes, like, man, BA comes out a lot quicker than Deebo, but Deebo stops on a dime, and just little things like that. So when I did get in, I think we picked up right where they left off when Jimmy went down. So.
Brock Purdy is our guest. He's joining us here on Radio Row. Part of the He Gets Us commercials, which we've been seeing a lot this year. We'll ask you about it in just a moment. Okay, so where are you right now with the elbow? We all watched in the NFC Championship game. First of all, what did it feel like? Can you take us through that game a little bit with having to leave the game? The cameras could catch you on the sideline saying, I can't grip the ball or I can't throw to Kyle Shanahan. But then because Josh Johnson gets a concussion, you did have to go back into the game. Can you walk us through that time?
Yeah, I mean, it was just rough. Just, my arm got, bent back as I'm throwing forward. So then my UCL literally tore. We found that out after, though. So during the game, I'm like, man, I don't know if it's torn. I don't know if it's strained. I go to the sideline, I try to throw. They're taping me up in all these different directions. But I tell them, like, man, I can't throw. And I threw 2 passes later, which were screens, but I, like, hand grenade through them. And but I told him, I said, Josh needs to go in. He needs to be the guy to run the offense because I don't want to go out there and hurt the team in any way. And we're trying to go to the Super Bowl. And so it sucked because I didn't know exactly what it was. I'm on the sideline, and if it was a AC sprain or something in my shoulder, it's like, man, I'm playing. This is the NFC Championship. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl. But literally, I tried throwing 10 yards, and the ball kept dying, and I couldn't feel my arm. Felt like I got shot in my arm, right where that ligament is, and so it was tough.
Did you get the feeling back in your arm now?
Yeah, now I can, just move it and do small movements, but the minute I go to pick it up to throw and go in that throwing motion, it kills.
So what's the next steps? Like, I'm sure you talk about this with your agent, your family, all of that, like surgery, or what's next? Yeah,
they're suggesting surgery in 2 weeks. We have something lined up. The surgeon's going to go in, and the plan for right now is get the repair with the brace, which is a 6-month recovery, and should be back by camp.
The final score was 31-7, but it was 7-7 in the first quarter. Obviously, you left early. That 31-7 score, I'm an Eagles fan. I was there in the building, full disclosure, but it didn't really feel like that's the game we would have had if everything had gone normally. How confident were you coming into that game, and how do you think it could have played out, if you were there all game? Because these were 2 evenly matched teams, despite the score.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think starting off with our defense, they did a great job, early on. It's like, man, how they looked. We were like, man, we're confident that they can do their thing and stopping the Philadelphia offense. And then right when we came out, the first 4 or 5 plays, we're like, man, we're rolling and we feel good. And coming into the game, we were very confident. And for myself, like, I knew what we were attacking, and So we felt good. And so, obviously when that happened, it's like, man, I went down. Fred went down early.
Yeah.
Then he came back in.
Yeah.
Yep. Josh went out. Nick got clipped on the sideline. So it just felt like everything just wasn't aligning in the right way, sadly. But, it is what it is. It's football. It's part of the game.
What were some of the conversations that Kyle Shanahan was having with you throughout the year, as it's like, okay, here we got a 7th-round rookie, Mr. Irrelevant is getting thrown in, and then it's like, all right, well, now he's our quarterback. And, like, how did the conversations change throughout the season as you became more and more entrenched as, hey, this is our starter?
Yeah. I think when I came in against Miami, it was great. We won. But then I think the true test was the next game, for Tampa Bay. How was that going to go? But once, we went in and rolled and put up, 28 points in the first half, I think that's when the guys were like, okay, we can roll with this rookie and make a run. And so that was really, I think, the first time that all happened, and he trusted me and told me, like, man, you're good enough to lead us to the Super Bowl and go. And so we had a great run. Obviously it didn't fall into place at the end, but I'm thankful how I had an opportunity and a shot to do what I did.
Wait, when did Kyle Shanahan first mention you're good enough to lead us to the Super Bowl? Like after that Tampa game?
Yeah. We had talked and said, we believe in you. We're going all in. We're not going to go out and get another quarterback or do anything. Like, we believe in you. So.
What does Kyle Shanahan do for a quarterback?
I think, the system that he runs, it's a great run offense first, and then the play action comes off of that. The drop back game is great. Everything just ties together. And so if how to study and go about things the right way, then he goes into a game plan and you can trust every play that he calls, and it all aligns in the right way. So he makes it easy for a quarterback, I think.
All right, want to go back to draft night. I'm curious, when it was you were the last pick of the 2022 draft, when it was getting towards the end, did you have a preference? Do I want to get picked here, or do I want to choose my own team as a free agent? Where was your head at that point of the evening?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think if you ask any player, they want to get drafted.
They do? Okay.
And then you're going into the 7th round, though. It's like, now I have to get things aligned in terms of, if I don't get drafted, what team am I going to go to, what cult, like everything, right? But for myself, man, the fact that I got drafted, even though it was the last slot, in my mind, it's like, man, I was wanted in a sense.
Yeah.
I have an opportunity, and now what am I going to do with that opportunity?
Yeah.
So I was thankful for it.
You got a pretty good coach that drafted you as well,
No
so
doubt.
that worked out.
Yep.
Brock Purdy is joining us. We watch the He Gets Us commercials. We're watching them all now during football season, but this speaks to you in a very deep way.
Yeah, I mean, just what I believe in terms of, in God and Jesus Christ, and believing, he came and died for our sins, and that we can spread his love, the way he lived life. With the craziness that goes on in our world today, and being able to just, spread love the way Jesus did. That's the biggest thing with this campaign of He Gets Us, and we'll see commercials in the Super Bowl, so I'm very thankful for it.
Are you in one of the commercials? Or
No.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you really were busy this season.
Yeah.
Shooting commercials on the side. No. Brock Purdy is here with us. Okay, so now you're going to go into the off season. You're going to go through your recovery. And then when training camp comes around, you are not the only quarterback who's on the roster. Obviously, Trey Lance is still on the team. Jimmy G, we never know with you guys with Jimmy G. I mean, you guys being the 49ers. Like, is he going to be on the team? Is he not? We know enough now not to predict that one. Do you know that you will be the starter, or do you have to fight for the job again? Like, has Kyle Shanahan told you what your mindset should be going into camp?
Yeah, I mean, he did say, you have to just get healthy. That's the first and foremost thing. Like, that's the most important thing right now, is I have to get healthy, see where I'm at, and we'll go from there. But obviously Trey's coming around the corner. He's going to be healthy here soon, and we're all excited to have him back. And at the end of the day, both Trey and I, we want to win. We want to win a Super Bowl for this organization, and we're going to do what it takes to do that. We'll compete and bring the best out of each other, but there's no decision made. I think it's way too early to even talk about things like that. But we just got to get healthy first.
Yeah, because you guys your playing styles could not be more like different ends of the spectrum, right? It's like, well, I mean, you do great on the bootlegs and the rollouts. I mean,
you did
a lot of evasiveness.
Move your feet a lot.
Yeah. I think just his system, the way he calls plays and stuff, he could tailor it to Trey or I, but overall the system that he runs, I think Trey and I can both go in and be successful in it.
So if you're here this weekend, this is probably the only time I could beat you in a throwing contest right now.
No, Perloff.
I don't know. Maybe lefty, I can pull it off.
I believe in Brock.
I didn't think of your left hand. Oh no! Good thing I didn't bet any money on that. That would have really cost me.
Good. You know how he said I could through two passes grenade style? His grenade style would be your pro style.
Now his left would destroy me. How far can you throw a lefty?
I could probably push 35, 40.
Did anyone talk about that during the game? Like, hey, why don't you just throw left-handed?
Nah, we didn't get to that point. It was more we'd rather trust the run game than throw lefty. So
Patrick Mahomes throws it lefty once in a while.
Every once in a while he does.
It's a good challenge.
And we're here like in your hometown. We're really close to Gilbert, Arizona, where you went to high school and where you grew up. I mean, do you have anything planned for this weekend? Because you could be sort of hosting a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the Super Bowl festivities, meeting a lot of great players around the league, and then seeing family, friends, just trying to enjoy my time home.
Is there a person who you meet now who maybe wouldn't have known who you were, maybe wouldn't, I mean, I know you're a four-year starter in college, but someone who now comes up to you and says, hey, Brock, I'm a big fan, that maybe would have made, that you were surprised by?
I think last night, we're on the red carpet and Joe Namath, and meeting him, and then him telling me, keep it up, man, I'm a big fan. Like, that was awesome. And for my family to meet him, too, because my dad grew up an Alabama fan, and obviously Joe was a great there. So just meeting people like that, it's a blessing.
Brock, we appreciate it so much. Thanks for making the time to come by our set. We're wishing you the best in your recovery, and let's let the story continue because it's a really great one.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate that. Brock Purdy from the San Francisco 49ers. Good enough to join us on Maggie and Perloff.